to Right Line Trading Live Futures Room for the last hour of trading on Thursday, December 12th. Let me put the disclaimer up here. Okay, let me put the disclaimer up here so everyone can see it. Maybe we're not live yet. Okay, looks like we're live right now. Okay, everyone, this is a disclaimer. We're not giving financial advice. This is really for, I guess you could say, entertainment purposes, but this is to help you understand the money flow tracker system. Okay, let's get our live screen up here. Looks like there might be a little bit of a delay here. I'm gonna do a sound check, make sure everyone can hear me okay. There we go. There's a little bit of a delay. Okay, I'll have to work on that. All right, last hour of trading. Now I've got a box drawn on this. This is a box that I draw. You just go up to drawing tools. Just go up to drawing tools and hit region. And then what I do is on my 50 line chart, I'll take the highest and the lowest and I'll draw a box around it and put it on all charts. As long as I'm in this box, there's no trades. Now what I'm looking for is here again, I can do different things. I can either keep it in here as 50 or I'm keeping the 30 range and the 50 range up here. Hey Kenneth, how you doing? The reason I like to keep the 30 and the 50 sometimes together is right now my bias on my 8 uni is linked to the 30 range chart, and the C2 is linked obviously to the 50 range chart. Okay, so to get a good understanding how bias works, which is a higher time frame, which is one of the elements that we like to trade with the money flow tracker, is that when price goes below a red moving average and the trend line here, like this area right here, you'll get a pink bias. When it goes flat like this, you'll get no bias or you'll get this color bias. Okay, and if it goes above, here again, we've got to wait for the price to go above, and this will get the green bias over here. Now, when it's green and approaching, you'll get like 1170. You'll get this bias. Okay, so this is more of an approach, and this is already crossed and established. That's why you like to trade the pink bias. And when it goes flat, you don't want to trade that. Now the same thing is exactly like with the 50 range. When price goes below and it's red, 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 then you get your C2, which is that stair step. That's what you want to trade. But you can also see when it's about to do it. Sometimes when it's a flat trend line like this, you know you're about to enter a C2. Okay, so you can plan accordingly your trades. Or you can just wait for them to occur. And you don't need any of this. But I like to be a planner. I like to see what's coming up. Now the biases I have associated with this, and you can make changes. You can do whatever you want. Okay, hang on. Gotta move this. There's nothing going right now, so I'll teach a little bit. Come on. Now the bias I have in my 30 range is 21, and in the 50 it's a 30. So what's nice about this is, and this is why I use the 50 range so much, is that this shows me I've got a bias on my 30 and I'm waiting for my C2. That's why many times I'll just keep the 50 range up and trade that way. So I already know I'm pink over here. I'm just waiting for maybe my brushes to appear. And I also like keeping this up because this 50 moving average will act as support or resistance. It may not stop the trade, but it could pause the trade. Enough to pause it that you get a wick that takes you out or it creates a loss. So you want to be careful. Now right here, we've got the VWAP and the 50. So that could be a little tough. Okay, let's look at our quants. Okay, we've got all our higher time frames, moving averages, all in a line. Our correlated markets. We're getting our higher time frame of the year, and this time frame of the year we're starting to get some momentum here, momentum of buyers coming into the market. And then I have my two, my explosion indicator and my squeeze indicator. Now what I was liking when I was looking at the squeeze, and I was going back and forth with it. Do I want to keep it? Do I don't want to keep it? What do I like about it? Sometimes I like it when this pops and this is either established or it's about to pop. I kind of like that look. Like right here might be a nice place to get in. Now, do I need that? Maybe not. I already have my Laguerre going down. Already have my fractal going down. I'm a visual guy. Sometimes I like to see things growing a little bit like this, so I find value in that. Like right here. I know we have a pullback, but this looks like a nice spot right around here to start looking for a trade. Definitely right here I'm going to start looking. Definitely right here. This is like the perfect trade right there. It's just popping. It's got the compression area. And if you got in here, all of a sudden it popped. It took you right up. So that's what we're looking at today. What's really nice about the money flow tracker is that you can make it look whatever is your comfort level. You can take the settings that's provided and you plug into a room, you plug into some YouTube videos, and you see how you can change them to your how you like them. And that's one thing I really enjoyed about this community is, we'll share with each other what we find successful. Like, for example, this block I drew. Someone brought it to the room. They said, Craig, if you don't want to trade a flat 50, then draw a block around it. And that keeps you it keeps you honest. Now, I'm looking at this and, well, what? I really like this signal here. Well, I like the explosion. My gear, my fractal's going down. That's really important. It's a big pullback. Green bias. Now, it's not a C2. Now, what don't I like about it? The 50 moving average. Let's just see how it reacts around here. We started getting a little bit of a break in here, but it's going to pause. And that's what you need to be careful of. Or this area, you can start getting some head fakes. And we don't want to get trapped into those. Let's hope this last 15 minutes we get some movement here. It's been pretty, the morning session, I think we had really one good trade. Other than that, it was just a bunch of first targets, a couple reversals on me. It was a little bit harder this morning. After 8 o'clock, it got a little bit better, but it was definitely rough. Now let's look at this 50 here. Or do we have a double top here? Well, you know what? This is still red. And that was another thing I noticed this morning, that there were chances of where this was breaking above and it was green, but this moving average was still red. And it, as much as it looked like this was a chart, a potential up move, until this thing turns green, it's not tradable most of the time. And that's what we have to consider in our trading. Okay, so if we're thinking, well, is this going down? What I would need to see, what I want to see on the 50 at least, is I want to see this get down real low, or if not, start to turn a little bit red. Get a red brush up there. Right now, it's still a little bit hanging up there. I think I'm going to keep doing the Tuesday morning and then the Thursday last hour of trading. I think I'm going to try to keep that schedule just to keep things moving with new members coming in. I kind of teach the whole time that we trade of what to look for, and just practice will get you there. And you really need to see things live, because everything looks so much better at the end of the day. But just stay with it. And see, let's look at this. I mean, this is getting lower here, but this is nice. This looks good. This looks good. Okay, let's see if this starts to go up and I get a little red pop down here. Let's see if that coincides with this. This is what I'm looking at here, and I'm looking at here. Now, I prefer to have bias. Let's see if I move this real quick. Still kind of flat here. Let's break it out of the box here. Let's not do anything until now we've got a volume zone here, and I think, what is this, low of session maybe? Current low, okay. Just not there yet. And I feel like these brushes sometimes give me a kind of a different way to illustrate the inner workings of these candles. That's why I like them. Because you can see these accelerate with shorter wicks. The gears down, that checks off. I don't have any bias. No, I'm starting to get bias here. Bisque. Okay, bisque means it's cross, but it's flat. I'm liking this candle, but it might be a little early. Oop, maybe. I can always put my order submitted in. That's a sell on down close. Let's just see. Today, I kind of like, I was trying to take my order out once I did this, and I got filled and I had to get out real quick. I want to see this start peaking red, and I want to see a little red down here on this brush. I'm thinking we're going to get it with this candle, but maybe I need the acceleration dot. I definitely want to have bias here. Now I got my C2. Look, as soon as this turns red, you're going to get the stair step here. And I'm going to get bias. So it's all happening at the same time. But will it pop? Boom.
Order filled.
See, I got my C2 in bias right away. This popped. This went red. Now will it be enough to carry me through? And this is what we're not getting. And this is the part that I'm finding that the markets are so frustrating right now, is the fact that typically when you get a big pullback wick like that, you usually get a series of small little wicks following. It's kind of like shooting a bow and arrow and pulling it back and releasing it. It just hasn't been doing it lately. Here's another big pullback. My fractal is still okay. I lost my first quant. What's going to happen here? I'm not liking my 30-second at all. This keeps growing and I don't get taken out. I should be okay. Here again, typically I like this over the explosion line, but I wanted to see how this would work together, and it's definitely given me a little bit of a Now, you could always say, you know what, this is taking too long. You can just close it. New candle on my 30-second bar now. I'm almost in profit. Am I going to get the profit? I got a C2. It's growing. Oh, we've got no volume. That's part of the problem is we're just playing around with other retail traders right now. And got my explosion indicator there. I mean, my squeeze. Now, what I'm not liking about it is, well, I'm not sure why this is going green up here. I am like one tick away. Oop, that's not good. Come on.
Order filled.
Close it out. Now, we had enough room to get down to this low of session here. And maybe I took it out a little bit too early. But two giant pullbacks with the C2 and the squeeze, it's kind of hard for me to fathom that this didn't just take off, or at least get down to here. Just could be the low volume. You pulled 352 out of it. Yeah. And this is just, this is brutal. And part of it could be, if this isn't up over 500 or you have decent volume, don't even trade, because it's just, what it'll do to you, it'll say, Craig, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm waiting for the setups. I've got my acceleration dots. If you're using the brushes, you're using the quants, everything is
order submitted.
I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. What's going on? The only thing I could say is you don't have any volume. I don't even know if I want to take this trade, tell you the truth. I don't like how my green, how this went green up here. That here again, things that don't make sense from a market perspective. We're like, okay, well, it surged a little bit. My fractal is still okay. It's getting to the critical point, but it's not too bad yet. I got this pivot I got to deal with on the 50. Now this I'm kind of wondering what's going on here.
Target filled.
Okay, we got our first target.
Stop filled.
Now, I didn't give that any room. I trailed that with that swelling 30 second, which might not be the best thing to do, but my goal was to, we're into this pivot area here. This finally turned red. It's breaking here. These swelled up. I can always get back in below this volume zone. So that's why I kind of I took it down to here. Got some money back. So what we want to see here is we want to see a candle break and a pullback. Or maybe we take this one. Just look at this. This is kind of acting a little suspicious right here. Now it's funny how this finally started working after we peeked ourselves out of the box here. And usually, when I trade at the end of the day, usually there's some nice volume. Now, let's see if we get it. Now my fractal's a little, just I'm not really loving this. And I don't like it when these turn and go down. Now if this was red still, I'd be looking at this and my 30-second, okay, saying, well, are we getting something here? I can get rid of this box.
Order submitted.
Do I want this or not? Now that I see this gives me a chance to kind of look around things and go, it's big, going up. This is diminishing. This is going lower. Let's hold off on it for now.
Order canceled.
Sometimes you can take these going down when this is still pretty powerful going down on the squeeze.
Order submitted.
I mean, technically, that's 3/4 and a full candle with a C2 and a power dot. This, if there's any question about a pull back and go type of scenario, that's
Order
it right
filled.
there. But it didn't have a whole lot of volume associated with it. And I don't like how this is an orange. This was still red, I'd be a lot happier, but and you know, you got a little bit of profit. If you want to take it, take it. Oh, look at that 30-second go against me. Nope. Don't think she's going to work. All of a sudden I got like a little surge of something. Okay, this leveled out. I don't like how this is lowering. I really would like to see a red spike right here. I don't know if I'm going to get it. What I like, one reason I took this trade is that there is an 89 chart that I have on another screen. And it's getting what I call a fresh cross with pink bias. And it's just like, I really want to take advantage of that. And it's just a matter of which candles are going to be. Okay, am I back in profit? Yeah, a little bit. If you're a little squeamish, just take it out with either a little bit of loss or $5 profit. No, look at that big candle. No.
Stop filled.
That's what I was saying. The only reason I was staying in that. And it looked good. This thing was pink. This was crossing. Price was below it. Look at this. Looked like this thing was ready to just... You get a fresh cross on like a 50 usually, or especially an 89. This thing's going to run. But didn't run today. Again, we had a little profit in here. What did I say was the thing I didn't like? Was right here. These were getting lower. The time to get in would have been up here, which we did. We got our first target. But once these started diminishing, this was still strong. But right here, it gave up. Just couldn't pull the trigger fast enough to get out of it. And, you know, it was a pull back and go. I mean, it was, other than here again, volume. I mean, this is pretty standard stuff to get in. We just did not. Just didn't happen. So we could go back and just say, Craig, just or room, just this is what you're looking for right here. This is a warning sign. Now let's look and see, okay, where is this going? Now, the other type of trade you can take, this will cross, and this will look like it's got all the attributes of a good trade. It'll have the quants, it'll have the gear, it'll have the bias. It won't have a C2. What that means is you'll be trading in this void area of the 50 before you get to the 50 moving average. Now you need to be careful with that, because why? You know, it's going to hit that ceiling here, and it's majority of the time it'll pause the trade. It needs to fight through the 50 and then off to the races. Now, the thing is, though, you need a big gap. And these really aren't that big of gaps to trade in. It's usually after a big run up. This sets up and it's tradable. And the same thing, and you'll see the same thing, and you can work your way all the way up to higher time frame charts. When I cross over here, and I might have a C2, I might have a gap on my 89 chart. So it's like a gap 89 trade. It's just how far you want to take it. But pretty much it's just been no volume today, so and I know these counters keep on rolling, but usually you want to hit the trigger when it's about 500 at least. So we'll look at that next time we trade. I just find it surprising that there's really no movement this last half hour. Maybe it'll be in the last 10 minutes. We'll see. Maybe the last 15 minutes. Okay, so now let's draw a region again. I know I can do it by my control key, but I'm used to doing it this way. Right here. Oh, what happened? Oh, I did it on the wrong one. Here we go. I think he could go all the way down to here, but that looks awful strange. I think let's it's interesting when you pull this up, this has changed. When you do it this way, we still have this bottom we got to get through. Okay, this crosses, it'll start giving us some bias here once this turns green. Now let's see what happens when this is squeezing. I get a green candle right here if this is dark green at the same time. Careful of the 50. This is still red. This is still red. I do trade with prop firms. I traded earlier today on my prop firm, and then hit my limit, and then I just go to this. I do. It's a love-hate relationship with prop firms. I think they're starting to get a little bit better. Now, I got green. This is lowered, all quants, no bias yet. I'm not going to get it yet because I'm not set up correctly. But this is popping together. So does this mean I can take this trade?
Order submitted.
No, this is going to be a higher risk trade because we don't have the bias. This is why, and we're trading into the 50. So do we really want to take this green? This isn't dark green. It's kind of like fizzled on me. I'm going to close it out.
Order canceled.
So all of these have to be in sync together for this to work. You can say, well, what about the reversal here? Well, where was the safe place to take the reversal? You can start to take it once this goes away. You can see a little bit of green. But you can only assume it's going to go to the 50. And then as you approach this, you got this big wick to take you out. So you really want, here again, I look at this and I go, until these turn green, this is still poised for a down move. And I still got what I would consider a fresh cross on my 89. So maybe, here again, is this just going up, sweeping up, kind of kissing the 50 to get some power to go down? That's what these charts are telling me, is that this is just going to go up. You might get fooled by this. You might even get fooled by this. But I got a feeling this is just doing one of these numbers. Rolling right around. Now, what are some signs? I would prefer to trade with over the explosion zone here. But I'm definitely not going to take an up move until I see a little bit more. Or down move, I should say. Up or down. Until I see the next color underneath here. I'm getting bias. Okay. Now this breaks, I'll have my pink bias. This breaks, I'm going to have my C2. Okay. It's a big volume kicking in. Well, this is like watching grass grow. It's so surprising that it's like this the last 10 minutes. Usually, I don't know what it is. There's no volume, no movement. Eight minutes, you think we're going to get something? Well, look at this. It's starting to push its way. I'm starting to get a little... No, not yet. This has to go away. Okay, let's see if something happens. This is growing. This isn't turning yet. Red, red, flat, flat. No trade. As soon as this breaks, price breaks below this, and this turns red, C2 and bias. My quants are lining up, my leg gears lining up, my fractal is nice and high so it can start dipping down. Here we go. Wow, did that happen fast? Sorry. My dog wants a walk, so. right down to that volume zone. It just stopped.
Order submitted.
Don't like how low this is. I'm hoping I get a red pop here. I mean, this will be fine if this starts to grow and this stays red. It's a big if. But this is growing nice. I'm out of the volume. I'm out of the zone. I'm pink. This looks pretty good.
Order filled.
It's just being just difficult today. Nope. Come on. Come on. Not liking my 30-second at all. It's going to turn on me. It's going to bite me. Which is going to do.
Stop filled.
Brutal. No follow through. The story of my day. Any other days, these would be really, really solid trades. You get, especially on a volume zone, this right here, this look, it would pop it right through. Just not happening. You know, and it doesn't really matter. Sometimes say, well, this was lower than this. Why would you do that? As long as it's red, it's got a really good probability to just for these to grow again. Especially with the 89 the way it is. Well, looks like the market did not do what I expected it to do. And it's going to happen. The market's going to close. My 89 cross. This thing's going to sail down for the next, 2 hours. C2 at no bias. Pink. Let's see. Well, I think the market's closed, but that's probably it. Let's see if it allows us to take another trade. Or the recording just goes off. Well, hey, it was I don't know if it was fun, but it was a learning experience for sure. Thursday, last hour trading, very flat. No follow through. But we'll be back here next Tuesday morning on the YouTube, and we'll do Thursdays and end of day trading. So that's it for me today. No follow through. Low volume. So we'll just take that, and you just learn from it and just get through it. Could be a double bottom. Could punch through. Still green. I don't like how this is rising. There we go. Well, we'll call it a day on that note. Well, everyone have a blessed rest of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning if you're part of my room. If not, we'll see you back here next Tuesday morning. Everyone, again, have a blessed day. Talk to you soon.